mood like, Steve?
Yeah, the guys are a bit down at the moment, and fair enough too. It's been a tough series so far. We've been outplayed in both Test matches, and yeah, the mood's not great at the moment. Bit disappointed, but yeah, look, we've still got plenty to play for in Colombo. We've got to try and prove to ourselves and the public that we can play in these conditions.
I was at UAE. I can't see any improvement in the group. Is that a fair assessment on playing spin?
I thought the first innings was very disappointing. I thought today we were a little bit more proactive. We saw some sweep shots, some reverse sweeps, guys using their feet. And to get around 180, I thought probably around 200 in the last innings of this game, or every innings of this match was probably around par. So we saw, a little bit of proactive thinking and innovation today to find a way. We just haven't been able to do it for long periods of time though.
Was that a result of some sort of meeting last night about how you're going to go about it?
I think some of the boys have learned a little bit from the way that the Sri Lankan batters have played. We saw a lot of sweep shots from them, reverse sweeps. So I think the guys have learned a little bit from watching them play. And having their own plans and having the courage to implement them out in the middle. It's never easy when the ball's spinning and skidding and you don't know which one's which. With guys around the bat, it's difficult, but I guess you have to have the courage to find a way to do it.
Steve, you spoke a lot before the game about not getting beaten on the inside of the bat, watching the straight ball, and then yourself in the first innings, quite a few of the guys got out the same way. Where's the difficulty in knowing the theory and then putting it in place on the field?
Yeah, the guys had been working on it in the nets. It's a tough one. They've got some quality bowlers in their team that do get the ball to skid and then spin sharply as well. And I guess when the ball does spin sharply, it sort of plays on your mind that, and you might just play outside of one. But we haven't been good enough at it, and we have to find ways to make sure that we are covering that ball that doesn't spin. Majority of the time, if it spins too far. We just have to, forget about the ball before, essentially, and play the ball as it comes. And if it does spin, hopefully it spins past the stumps and the outside edge.
Is that just an instinct or reflex that means you're not able to play that delivery the way you know you should? You sort of automatically do something different? I think
it is sort of instinct. I guess all the guys growing up in Australia, the majority of wickets that we play on, they're pretty true. You don't often see too many spinning past the bat, or the one that does go straight, it doesn't speed up off the wicket as such. So it's certainly a lot easier to play spin in Australia. But we have to find ways to do it differently here. I thought, as I said, the way we came out today and took the game on a little bit. A couple of guys went over the top, showed a bit of courage, got the field back, a couple of sweep shots, reverse sweeps. It sort of, I guess it unsettles the bowler a little bit. And you're scoring at the same time, which is important in these conditions. If you're sitting on the crease trying to defend, more often than not, one's going to have your name on it. So you have to find a way to score at the same time as being out there.
Steve, I know you're not selected, but is there a growing case for specialisation in cricket to actually get a team of guys who are specialists at playing spin for games in these conditions, where you might have a completely different top order to what you take to England or South Africa?
Yeah, I think it certainly needs to be looked at. If there are guys that can play spin well in these conditions, then it's certainly got to be a chance. Because it's been too long now. I think it's 15 or 16 games since we've won a game in the subcontinent. So whatever we're doing, it's not working. There might be need for some changes.
Last first two matches, what more can you sort of, going to the third test match, what more can you sort of do to overcome this shortcoming that you have in this?
Yeah, I think as batters, I guess I'm assuming the wicket's going to spin again. So I think it's about implementing the plans that the guys had in place today. I think they played with some courage today, sweeping the ball, reverse sweeping, it's coming down the wicket. It's those sort of things that enable you to score. As I said before, I think if you just sit there and try and defend, one is eventually going to have your name on it, and you're not going to get any runs at the same time. And the name of our game is to score runs, so you've got to try and do that, but do it a way where you can be successful. And I thought some of the guys' plans today were pretty good, and the way they executed them was good. It's just about doing that for longer periods of time.
Brian and Dan.
Yes, Steve, what did you think of the performance of your own spinners in this game?
Well, they didn't get many wickets, did they? So, look, I think we need to find ways to bowl differently to how we bowl our spin in Australia as well. You look at the Sri Lankan spinners, any of the subcontinent spinners, they bowl that sort of side seam on the ball where they can go up and down with their speeds and trajectory, and the ball reacts differently. One ball goes straight on and speeds up off the wicket, one ball spins, and you don't know which one's which, and I don't think the bowlers actually know which one's which either. So I think we get up, I guess in Australia traditionally we get taught to get over the top of the ball, and in Australia I think you need that shape to try and do the batsmen in drift and shape in the air, whereas I think it's the exact opposite playing in the subcontinent. The ones with the side seam are extremely hard to face, and our spin bowlers need to continue working on that. I think it's bowling a completely different way to the way we bowl in Australia.
Steve, in terms of the batting coach position around the Australian team, there's been we haven't had someone full time on it since Diva left. Would you like to see someone come in who's got, I suppose, a batting in Asia kind of background that can work with you guys over a period of time?
Yeah, well, Greg Blewett's the current batting coach. He's played enough in subcontinent conditions. He's at home for the birth of his child at the moment, so I couldn't be with us, but he's our batting coach, and I'm sure he's got plenty of experience in these conditions and can certainly help us out.
Last three, Bucky and Vic.
Steve, you talked about the importance of the third test, to strike a blow in this series. I guess the India tour in February is also important there. I mean, you need someone other than Mitchell Stark to put their hand up on this tour and say, I can play on the subcontinent.
Yeah, that's right. And to be fair, I thought all of the fast bowlers did a pretty good job for us in this game. But to be fair, it shouldn't be them taking the wickets. It should be our spinners that are getting the job done. I guess for John Holland, his first test, he was obviously a little bit nervous, and you can excuse that a little bit. But yeah, the spinners have to find a way to get wickets and keep the runs dry on these surfaces. I think we've gone it over 4 and over for both test matches. So we've got to find a way for the spinners to get wickets in these conditions.